Hello, we're the C.Coy group, which is the Operation Herrick and Telic display team. So we display the weapons, vehicles and equipment of both the Second Gulf War and the Afghanistan War, sort of heading through from all the way from 2001, the beginning of the War on Terror, all the way almost through to the present day. So we have here a various display of vehicles and equipment from that time. And this is a HESCO bastion bunker, which is the protection for the compound. So it would normally be a little bit higher than this. These are basically a flood defence, which the military has basically converted into an easy and quick way of building a hard point or sanga. And so it's got viewing points, so it would normally have sort of machine gun points on top and a lookout point, and be manned 24 hours a day. This is the protection for the base. Normally these would be located all the way around a compound or base, wherever the vehicles and equipment was based, and would provide the security and control for the perimeter of the base. If we move on, this is my vehicle, what would be called the Snatch Land Rover. This is a replica of the last variant. None of these are out of military service as yet, although they're likely to be in the near future. This replicarises, like I say, the last variant, which is the most up-armoured variant with the latest modifications, larger engine, automatic gearbox, and as I said before, extra armour inside and outside, especially as you can see underneath there on the bottom, which provides protection for the interior of the vehicle from smaller landmine and IED blasts. Obviously, as it's well known, the Snatch Land Rover is very lightly armoured in comparison to modern mine protected vehicles. It's only a light protected patrol vehicle. So as you can see, it's got the more modern radio equipment on the back for bowmen and SATCOM's radio, which is the cross antenna in the middle. And then as we move round to the front, you can see more of the what would be called the ECM or electronic countermeasures equipment. There's several different antennas there for different wave bands and wavelengths, which control the protection for electronically triggered and controlled IEDs and block the signals to these devices. So if we move forward to the front of the vehicle, see here, this is another form of electronic countermeasures equipment. Say up until fairly recently, and it is actually still used. I believe we're not sure. This is still fairly well restricted information on these of exactly how this works, but we believe it's to counter buried IED devices in the ground. That's why it points in that direction. So moving over to the other vehicle, we here have a Land Rover WMIK version. As you can see here, mounted with 50 cal on the top and a general purpose machine gun 7.62 caliber on the front, on the commander's seat there. Commander and driver in the front and top cover gunner in the rear. There's various equipment, as you can see, personal equipment, webbing on the side, personal weapon, etc. These are a Pathfinder vehicle, so they operate as a mobile firepower base for them to operate around they operated in Iraq and Afghanistan. you have the 50 cal as the main protection and long range firepower for the vehicle. Okay, and as you'll see hung around the vehicle, lots and lots of personal equipment, which is due to the inside becoming basically the communications equipment and the ammunition store for the vehicle. That's why also you see all the jerry cans on the outside to give the vehicle longer range. Just in front of the heavy 50 cal machine gun, you see a mount for a Milan anti-tank missile launcher, which would give extra firepower. And on the back here are the 84, I believe, anti-tank weapon, which is a lightweight disposable shoulder launched weapon. Useful not just for attacking armour, but hardened points, troop concentrations, and anything like that you want to reach out and attack at a reasonably longer range. So as you could probably hear here, we've got the radio communications equipment, which is the 2 units there. Batteries are underneath, ammunition storage on both sides. That's the top gunner's seat for when he's not on the 50 caliber, and personal weapons again. Sand ladders here for traversing soft ground. 2 spare wheels, once again an important thing when you're driving through rough country and areas like Afghanistan, where there's a lot of sharp rocky deserts and operating away from support. You need to have plenty of spares because you're likely to get plenty of punctures, especially with a heavily loaded vehicle like this. Moving forward, you can see the snorkel here. So we normally in this country consider this for protecting the engine from water, but in a dusty environment like the desert, it's best to get your intake as far away from the wheels where there's a lot of dust, dirt and grit which can get into your engine. So once again you can see smoke grenades, personal equipment of the driver there, plate carrier and personal support weapon, 9mm stick pistol there. And as you can see, carried in the middle is a GPS unit. That's for your carrying your orientation, your location for the commander to use. More radio equipment in the middle, a radio control base unit which allows you to speak out to people in other vehicles and on the ground with their own personal roll radios, same as is on the plate carrier here and on my own personal equipment just by my left shoulder there, which would be carried through these headsets which would fit up to one ear like that. So we have a weapons display here where we've got weapons of the opposing forces there. We have 2 AKs and an RPG-7. RPG-7 is, interestingly enough, an Iraqi-made version, which is very rare. And the 2 weapons are at the top are Taliban captures, basically weapons captured and taken from Taliban fighters. They're all fully deactivated now in the UK, obviously, but those are the kind of equipment that the enemy or insurgent forces would be using. And then moving over towards the left, we have more of the UK, US, NATO forces, coalition forces weapons, Western forces weapons as such. The at the top there of the left-hand rack, the M4s, very commonly seen with all US forces, and moving down, one of the British SA-80 A2s there, and then at the bottom that is a variant of similar to our Special Forces would use, which is once again a variant of the American weapons. That's the Canadian C8, I believe. Then we have a display of helmets along the front here, US forces, Afghan forces and British forces at the end there. Hello again. These two vehicles are the DAF T244, which is the later 4-tonner version, which basically replaced the Bedford MJ and MK range. Very common truck, pretty much for the British Army. So shown here as it would have been used in Telic and Herrick, although generally these were seen much more on Operation Telic. So you could convert these, shown here as a soft top vehicle with a canvas for troop transport or general cargo, also used for carrying fuel, repair equipment, bridging equipment, you name it, basically jack of all trades. And then we'll move on here to the Snatch. This is a 2A desertized version, so this has air conditioning and the Barracuda, which is like a heat protective camouflage as such. It protects the vehicle from excessive sort of UV heat from the sun, but also can lower the infrared signature of the vehicle if that's required. You've got a search and spotlight and grills on the outside. As you can see, it's basically derived from the Northern Ireland variant, where you would use this for internal security and riot duties, so that the grille allows you to have protection from thrown stones, petrol bombs, etc. That's what the screen up round the roof hatch is for, also to protect top cover from thrown items. This vehicle has a ECM suite as well, the electronic countermeasures to protect from IEDs, which are electronically triggered. We also have the bull bar and wheel on the front on this model, which is very useful in urban environments for protection of the vehicle and for removing barricades and blocking vehicles. So obviously this is fully armoured as well, with composite armour, with armoured glass. They have a poor reputation, but actually for their weight they're exceptionally well armoured. They can take a good load of impact from 7.62 rounds and still be protective to their occupants. I say essentially they were designed, like I say, for Northern Ireland, where there would only be small caliber rounds, I'd say, such as 5.56, 7.62 and 9mm, and small explosive devices such as nail bombs, etc.